Hi everyone, it's me, Terry Nazon, and these are the horoscopes for the week of November 20th through November 27th for the sign of Virgo or Virgo rising. This would also apply to you too, Virgo rising. And of course, this week is a stellar week, another stellar week with a little more activity than, let's say, last week. The sun changes signs, and whenever the sun changes signs, the conversation changes. And of course, the sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, or will enter the sign of Sagittarius. And that is going to be your solar fourth house, beginnings, endings, family matters, putting things to rest, letting go, and letting go of some, well, maybe some deep emotions. The fourth house is about deep emotions. But here the sign of Sagittarius doesn't like to really go that deeply. Just kind of likes to laugh things off and just move on, if you will. So going deeply always gets you in trouble, especially if you're born in the 60s and you have Uranus and Pluto also in the sign of Virgo. It can be a little troublesome. So keep it light over the holiday seasons. Learn to laugh at your deep emotions. Don't hold any grudges, and of course, just get along. Of course, the sun in Sagittarius solarizes this area of your life. What does that mean? Well, it brings more self-confidence. Maybe clearing the air with family members, of course, and it can bring some good fortune and good luck and good expansion. Sign of Sagittarius is all about expanding, moving forward, doing things in a big way. And of course, this fourth house rules property matters. And of course, self-sufficiency, your ability to be an independent person. Saturn's been here for 2 years now, and Saturn wants you to be independent. There's no more living with the parents anymore, staying in the nest. No, you've got to fly, birdie. You have to fly and be out on your own, and you can't be afraid. So the fourth house is that pivotal house where big changes happen. And of course, because it's the bottom of the chart, it's also called the midnight of our life. But here the sun makes you self-confident. That's what the sun does. He solarizes things, makes you self-confident, and gives you the courage to handle matters on your own independently, because the sign of Sagittarius is also a very independent sun sign. Wants to do everything on their own, by themselves, and for themselves. And that's okay now, because that will work. The planet Neptune also resumes direct motion in the sign of Pisces. Your solar seventh house of relationships, your significant other, and if you're single, marriage possibilities. And of course, Neptune makes us dream, and of course we see wedding bells and white dresses and tuxedos whenever we meet somebody, for goodness sakes. But with Pluto in your solar fifth house, that hasn't been easy, because Pluto he's the god of the underworld, and he likes to rewrite any astrological house that he goes through. So no doubt your ideas about love, marriage, and romance, they've changed. Maybe you're more serious about things. No, perhaps you're dead serious about things, because Pluto is dead serious about things. The week starts off with the planet Venus sextiling Mr. Pluto. And of course, being very serious could get you in trouble. Venus is in her detriment. So romance, I don't know how open someone would be to romance, even if given the possibility for romance. Venus is in the sign of Scorpio, her detriment, in your third house of communications. That's sort of thinking kind of deeply. Pluto's in your fifth house of love and romance. And that's kind of, well, dredging things up and thinking deeply. Saturn's in your fourth house of emotions, and Neptune is in your seventh house. So it seems like Virgo is in their head a little bit, doesn't it? And maybe imagining something's going on that isn't going on, sort of, kind of, right? Well, I think so. The fourth quarter moon in Pisces, though, can clear things up. It happens in your seventh house of relationships, and maybe that will be time to clear things up in your head about relationships, marriage prospects, and maybe even bring an opportunity if you're single.